Broadcasting live from upstate New York, a technology talk show that puts you and your questions first. It's Tech Talk Live.
Yeah, baby, it's Tech Talk Live, coming to you live from upstate New York. I'm Flipper.
I'm Snide.
And I'm JJ.
And we're a computer talk show out of upstate New York, broadcasting live from Seneca Falls.
Ooh, New York.
Ooh, New York, right? And
Awesome.
we do a video podcast, and we do the audio as well. And Snide, you got to shift that way just a touch. There you go.
Why we got to shift that way? I've
your
been
camera.
sitting where normally.
Yeah.
I want to be out of focus anyway.
Yeah, there
Sitting
you
here
go.
with all these intelligent people.
Right.
Nice. We are a technology talk show, broadcasting live. Give us a call.
At 315-220-0692, or you can shoot us an email at
Yeah.
Tech Talk Live.
techtalklive.ny@gmail.com.
There you go.
Check us out on Facebook. We get that up running.
Like us.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Because we like
I'm
you.
having trouble getting my computer to fire up here for some reason.
anyway, lots to talk about this week. I mean, there was so much in the news that's related to technology, computers.
CES,
CES was
Computer Electronic or Consumer Electronic Show.
big. Yep,
Not computer, consumer.
Vegas, right?
Yeah, Vegas.
Yeah.
What's talked in Vegas stays in Vegas? No,
Not
I
quite.
got it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
not
I just can't believe that JJ didn't pick up on that.
I missed out.
Yeah, I love that.
Been a
He's
busy-
all
been a busy
iPad, iTablet, whatever it is, iPhone, all that stuff. He missed out on the iPoddy. Oh, the iPoddy is good because you get.
That's
it's
my
got a little-
iPoddy. I'll cry if I want to.
Yeah, right.
And he's got the little indestructible tablet that you can put right on there and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Phil's
It even got a pee protector so you don't pee over on the floor. It goes in the potty. You know, a little pee shield there.
Jeez.
Nice.
Oh my God, that's great.
When you're
But you
sitting
can
on the
put on your
potty,
iPad.
you're sitting on your iPad, or sitting on the potty doing your iPad.
Pad.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
There
why
you
it's
go.
called the
Protector.
iPoddy.
Nice.
I see that and I says, "Oh my God!" And then I turn around the next day and here it is on the news in wham up there.
Right.
Nice.
But I've been doing nothing but playing with that CES.com. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
or wherever I do the search and then I get on it and I'm
Yep.
looking at different things. And there's all sorts of things, not just electronics for the handheld
Devices,
computers
yep.
and all that stuff. The new TV, it's a new not an LED, but it's a new thing, and I forgot what the heck it was. I don't know if I remember. I bookmarked it or not.
Well, you got plenty of time. I got lots of stuff we can talk
But
about.
it was the new type of illuminating the LCD screens. So it's a new
Like the
LCD.
projector, project through light for the LCDs.
yeah, but it's it's not LEDs like
Like it-
LEDs. You put LEDs behind it. You're
LED, LCD, HD.
instead of the little tubes that are in there. Whichever way they go. That
MD, PD,
Right,
PC.
But no, that was a new thing. I was trying to think of what else I explored. But anyway, last week we missed out on doing the cameras.
Right.
I had a couple of questions that I wanted to ask, but we
got
never got
sidetracked.
around to it.
Yeah.
And
we never
I
get
think-
sidetracked here. Come on.
I think this is a to it this week, isn't it?
We can do it to it this week if you want.
And I was looking at the Canon Rebel 3Ti or 3.
The 3i and the T3i and the
T3.
T3.
Yeah, and what
And-
the difference is and stuff. And no, I was getting disappointed with pictures when they
Well-
used my camera. They were getting blurred and not getting good pictures and yada da da da. And we were going on for that.
Right. Well, we exploring. Let's explore the reason why you were getting bad pictures. It doesn't matter what camera
Shaky?
you have. Yeah, they were shaky.
Too much coffee.
Yeah, right.
His pot of coffee that he makes. Taking a picture. Okay.
All shook up. Yay.
Oh my God, it's Elvis. Honk honk love, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Say that again.
honk honk love, baby.
Pew pew.
Jeez, we're not sidetracked at all.
See, we don't get
We don't
sidetracked.
get sidetracked.
Not
What do
at
you mean?
all.
Nope.
Don't blink. Don't blink. You'll miss something.
Right. Anyway.
I'm trying to miss the whole show. Anyway,
But the
no,
3T
you
and the 3Ti
well,
Canon.
first off, you have a point and shoot Canon SX30.
all in one.
All in one, right? Yep.
Telephoto, the whole nine.
It's got the lens all built into it. It's dust proof, shock proof, all that other good stuff. It has about a half a second shutter lag. We know that. One of the complaints that you had was the shutter lag because it took 1 to 3 seconds before you actually got the next picture to go off.
Yeah.
Right. So
Took 3 seconds or better.
So point and shoot versus SLR or DSLR, there's a huge difference in shutter lag.
Yeah.
DSLRs and SLRs, there's no shutter lag or little shutter lag. Like 1/10 of a second it might take.
Yeah. Click,
Not even.
Click.
Yeah. Well, you can do.
Point and shoot. Click.
Well,
click,
if
click.
you take
Is just the DSLR and stuff, is that just name brand or is that
No, that's-
something
no
that-
SLR single lens reflex.
and
no.
for our listeners out there, I'm not sure.
Right. So basically, what happens is, okay, let's see if I can do this with my hands. You got the camera body and the film plane,
Right.
and then you got a lens attached to it. Okay. When the light enters the camera, it inverts it and puts it onto the film plane. That's the reflex part.
Okay.
And it's a single lens. So
Being a digital, it has to put it and save it into the.
onto the sensor. So you have a sensor instead of film. Okay.
Okay.
With point and shoots, it works pretty much the same way, but there's no shutter. So it's constantly viewing what you're viewing. When you pull that trigger, it calculates all that information and then takes that snapshot.
I want that right there.
Right.
Well, and if you happen to be moving,
Yep.
it's like it's taking two images and one over the other, and that's what makes it blurred.
Sometimes.
So
It
speed.
depends on what you're getting. So
Speed.
So the biggest thing to stop blurred photos, okay, is to watch the Digital Babble when that comes out in the spring here. Well, hopefully sooner. Two, you like my plug?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 is
Digital Bell, we got a new show coming.
yeah, we got a new show coming. The second thing is shutter speed. You got to make sure that your shutter speed is faster than the length of your lens. So if the length of your lens is 28 millimeter, you need to be 1/20th or faster to handhold, and that's really the whole thing. The hand holding, if you're not faster than the length of the shutter speed, you'll be able to see the motion that you're.
So, in other words, the movement of the Earth is faster than what my shutter is.
No, the movement of your body is faster than your shutter speed, and that's really the key. So you can get some gorgeous pictures out of point and shoots if you just understand the basics of the triad. Shutter speed, aperture, and ISO.
If I wanted to take a long picture or zoom way out, I should have a
Tripod.
monopod.
Yes, if you want to really eliminate a lot of your blurred photos, doesn't matter what speed it is, get it on a monopod, get it on a tripod. Now, that being said, there's your point and shoot. Now, the big thing with your point and shoot is I think it's only 8 megapixel. It's first, second, third generation Canon Digic, so it's a Digic 3 processor.
So I got an 8 megapixel camera on my iPad. Mm-hmm. I could get just as good quality pictures with my iPad.
Kind of.
think?
The difference between like the iPad and other cameras is it's not the lens optics are not the same.
You're trying to have him take over?
He wants his little airtime.
Oh yes, Oscar with his airtime. So the sensor sits so on an iPad you don't have a lot of room. So this little tiny mini sensor that's 8 megapixel, they shoved 8 megapixels on this little tiny sensor, has a single lens that allows it to see as much as possible from front to back in focus. So you remember the old,
you remember
the old film cameras, and that's not a good place, Oscar.
Yeah.
Bang, crash.
Come on, you're fine. Come on, just not on the keyboard, please. Thank you. Oh, there goes everything. Okay, bye bye. I lost everything on the one computer. Yay!
Start, press the any key.
Yeah,
and he did.
Yeah, press the any key is right.
He did. Holy cow! He pressed something all right because now I have nothing. Holy cow! That's weird. Pardon me. So now the difference between a point and shoot and an SLR is that you have interchangeable lenses. Okay, you got a shutter that sits in front of the film plane or the sensor. Okay, so when you go to take a picture, you're looking through the camera. You're looking through down to the mirror, which is in front of the shutter, out the lens. So when you pull that trigger, so you pull it halfway to focus. If you got autofocus, if it's already focused, you just pull the trigger. So you squeeze the trigger like a sniper, be like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pew!
Everything works in works in unison. Okay. So when you pull that trigger, okay, the mirror flops up. The shutter in front of the sensor opens for that given amount of time, whatever the correct exposure is, saying 1/20th of a second or 1/60th of a second. So it's no more light enters in onto that sensor. There's nothing else happening with that sensor, like where in a point and shoot there's other stuff happening with that sensor. This shutter just goes shoot, shoot, and that's the only job it does in an SLR, is to open, close, and only allow that much light on the sensor. So now the difference in quality is the fact that you can get more pictures per second than a point and shoot. You can typically get a bigger sensor. You can get interchangeable lenses, and a lot of times they're just a touch more intuitive on what your actual settings are. So, like, remember I had to show you where to find your shutter setting on the Canon? Right, it's
in there somewhere.
Right. You got to go look for it.
Here it is. Well,
right, you got to go look for it.
Yeah.
But on the SLRs, you look through the lens, and it's right on the bottom. And it shows you your shutter speed, your aperture, and your ISO, all right there, ready to go. So, it just depends on what type of pictures you're taking. Now if you're ready to go move up to the SLR thought process and have interchangeable lenses and get frustrated, as most photographers, especially beginning photographers, get started off as, the Canon T3 is very nice. It's a 12 megapixel camera.
T3i is
T3i is 18 megapixel.
That means you can get a bigger poster. Huh?
Right. I'm just trying to figure out. They're both Digix 4 processors, so they're fairly fast. I think the big differences here is the fact that Oscar's climbing all over me. Hi, Oscar. Come on, dude, man. Go that way. Bye-bye.
There we go.
All right. Now I can read. Probably two of the biggest differences between the T3 and the T3i is the sensor size, the ability to take full HD video.
It goes right around here and goes right back.
Okay, fine. Sit right. There you go. All right. Are you a good boy? You're a good boy. You're a good boy, yes.
Now I can't hear you.
Right, I know.
You got a gargle in your mouth.
The other big difference is that the T3i is about $100 more. So that's about the difference, But, I mean, they're both the same processor, so the image processing is about the same. You're going to get about the same amount of frames per second. I think it's three frames per second with the T3. It's 3.7 frames per second with the T3i. So they did a little bit better there. The ISO range is a little bit bigger with the T3i. If you really want to go, Macho Man, Randy Savage, snap into it as a Slim Jim type thing.
A big camera.
I was going to say you could go with the Canon T4i, which has the 18 megapixel sensor, but it also has the new processor, the Generation 5 processor, which is really, really nice. So, but that's basically it about DSLs. I mean, point and shoot versus what you were looking for here. What else do you want to know?
Well, we got discussing about Google Maps and Google Photography and Google things.
Oh yes.
And then I see on
your little argument at breakfast.
Yeah, CES.
Yep.
Has a camera that you hold in your hand that takes the 360 degree that you hold, and I printed it out for Fred. Mm-hmm. And give them a good idea of what's going on. But like I said,
these SLRs.
Well, what's this for? Is for virtual taking of a room or something, or like houses or whatever?
Basically, you could do rooms, you could do houses. Right. It's a virtual 3D or 360 degree.
I think they offer those for the iPad and the iPhone as well. Little adapters you put over.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. The SLRs also have another adapter. What you do is you put the SLR on a tripod. Okay.
Yeah.
And you aim it straight up in a wide. It has to be a certain millimeter lens. It has to be.
Yeah.
Then this lens adapter attaches to it. Okay, and it's a coned mirror. Okay, so you're looking right up at this cone mirror. What it does is it takes in a 4x6 format this kind of circular of the whole room. Okay, then you use the specific software that comes with the adapter, and it'll stretch it back out. You know, take it and make it one long straight piece of photo. So you got a virtual 3D or virtual 360-degree room with one shot.
Well, I'm just saying it would be nice for real estate people and things like this that they want to 360, you know, and put it on the net that they can, you know, show their rooms.
Right. I know they do a lot of video.
Virtual rooms or virtual
you know,
houses.
a lot of real estate agents aren't doing half of that anymore. They're, you know, it was a nice fad for a while. Now it's kind of like, yeah, if you get to it, you get to it. You don't. I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of. I mean, when we were talking about doing that home show, I talked to
right.
you know,
online during our commercials. Or,
yeah, or even you know, do it a whole nother show.
Display
you know,
display homes for
yeah.
sale.
So do.
a reality.
Yeah, just do like a little where you would do a voiceover, I would do whatever, you know, and just kind of have some fun with it. Kind of do like the nothing.
And I'd keep my mouth shut.
Right.
Well, you can if you can read it, you're good. But you know, we were gonna do that, and I talked to a couple people about possibly doing it, and all these other websites are offering all these other functions that nobody's really using. So. And that was the whole thing. There's no money. There's nobody that wants to do it and spend money on it or anything else. So it's either do it for free or.
Well, we spend a few bucks and we could do it for an hour show or something. And
yeah,
I think you know, we're not going to charge an overabundant amount.
No, we were talking a couple
do an hour segment
left.
once a week or something.
Yeah,
a couple bucks. Wow.
Yeah. Well, again, it's one of those things. It's unless you know how to market it and you know the people to get marketing to, very difficult to get that type of idea going, I guess.
Well, it's just like I had a problem and the guy was across the street and taking down a tree, and I asked him how much, and he says, a little high, but I hemmed and hawed. I told him he had to take it down because, like I said, I wasn't going to. It's the same thing with Flipper's tree out here.
Right.
Yeah, I got to get that silver maple down. So.
Yeah, that's split up there in the top. Mine was split up in the top, and guess who was parking there?
Me.
Anyway,
Frank.
you want to comment on what we're talking about? Give us a call, 315-220-0692.
Or you can email us at techtalkliveny@gmail.com, or check us out on Facebook and leave us a comment there.
Yeah, Facebook.com, TikTok Live.
Right, and if you hear me groaning whatever, my back's killing me. I'm just trying to make it through the show. So
and you got to make it through a 2-hour drive up and 2-hour drive back.
Buffalo,
or 2.5.
yeah. I at least have to drive the stuff up there. So anyway,
but enough on the cameras or not? Or we got something?
I don't know. You got any
else?
other questions?
No, I was just doing a little mail there that who was it? JoJo was saying about a computer on the website.
Yeah, we were. She wanted to know about the. I'm trying to visualize it again.
Me too.
The all-in-one touch screen computers that are coming out, like the Windows
8.
Service with Windows 8 and
Let's
all
see
that
here.
good stuff. You got it up?
She states, I'm considering a new desktop. Really thinking one of those huge touch screen desktops. Do we know anything good or bad about them?
I think we know quite a bit good and bad about them. So, from a user standpoint, as long as they work good, you know, you don't have any issues, no memory failures, no hard drive failures or anything like that, they're wonderful machines.
But you got to learn Windows 8 all over again because it's a touch screen type.
Yep, that's typically the problem.
iPad, iBook, whatever.
Right.
You know, it's not the keyboard type.
What is it, a Dell or is it a Acer? Or
they got the Dell has one. Acer just came out with one that's a touch screen. I'm trying to think of the other one that I saw the other day, but the problem is with all these all-in-one units, okay, is the fact that if the screen goes bad, the computer's done.
Screen goes bad, everything goes bad.
Right. If the hard drive goes bad, everything goes bad. Because they're so difficult. Well,
don't even think of motherboard.
Well, the problem is that they're very difficult to work on. I mean, the problem here is that when you saying if you brought it to me and said, okay, I need to replace the hard drive because it's broke.
They're putting them out so cheap now that or not. I'm not saying that they're cheap products. They're putting them out so inexpensive that it's cheaper to
just
go and replace it.
Yep.
And we're in a society of just replacing things, so
Right, which is kind of horrible because I mean that means jobs and that means people
Throw
that,
out and
Yep.
whatever, you know.
Yep.
People out to the dump have got to have a job, so make sure you recycle that stuff.
Well, I was
right in
thinking
the
more
trash
like the
can.
computer techs and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean,
Flipper's job.
one of them, yeah,
Right.
out of the many that I have. Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing the only concern, the only problem I have with the whole situation is that they pretty much, they're all one unit. So saying if a hard drive goes bad, if the manufacturer did a good job of designing it, it should be pretty easy to get to the hard drive and replace it. Mac, not so easy.
Not so easy on a Mac.
No, Mac's very difficult, but
You're just better off going buying a new one, and they're not.
not cheap.
Yeah.
No, they're not
There,
throwouts.
there you
Nope.
go. I'll bring that one up now. I got
But-
that one on there.
But I mean, it just depends on how well they're made. By the end of the day, I mean, a lot of them. Really, by the end of the day, I mean, any computer is good. It's just
All right, now they're putting on this Gorilla Lens. Is that what I want to say? Gorilla Lens?
The Gorilla Glass.
Gorilla
Gorilla
Glass.
Glass.
Yep,
Yep.
it's scratch proof.
Is that like
and-
Gorilla Glue?
Yeah,
Down in
right.
Corning. Actually, it's a Corning product, right?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's actually
Still
made
a
in
touch
Corn-
screen,
Right.
but it's so that it's not so
Well,
much damageable.
The touch screen actually.
Uh-oh, we got a
hello.
call.
We got a call.
Hello?
I lost it, guys.
Use the mouse.
Answer. You're on Tech Talk live on the air. First name, where are you calling from?
Waterloo.
Hey, how you doing?
This question's for you.
I love.
Channel 9 News is putting something out on Java.
Yep, I actually just downloaded it just this morning.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I could talk about that. Would you like to stay on the line, or would you like to just listen?
No, just listen. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. All right. Let's
Put
see.
out Java.
It's one
Yeah.
of our dedicated listeners.
Yeah.
One of our
about the-
dedicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
About the intrusion on Java. Right?
The vulnerability. Yeah. Basically, what happened was Java put out a incomplete patch. It opened up a big gaping hole. Okay, and what this big gaping hole basically comes down to is that websites and ad makers, like the little ads on the side of the computer, when you're on a web page or something, can actually inject and automatically silently install in the background keystroke loggers, webcam viewers, all sorts of different bad stuff to your computer. So it's and this actually can happen on any device that has Java. So your Android, if you got Java for Android, if you got Java for your PC, if you got Java for your
right.
iMac or iPad,
All right. Your virus scan or virus product does not.
would not detect. It would not detect the vulnerability. It would detect if something was trying to get in there and do something if it was known. So, like saying they were using a known keystroke logger, okay? It would probably say, "Oop, this is a virus. Nope, don't install this."
How about that C, whatever it is, C cleaner? Is that what I wanted
C
to
cleaner
say?
is a registry cleaner. That doesn't do anything.
Doesn't get rid of that either?
Nope.
Nope.
Your biggest thing is really just to wait for the CNN
Just
or
hope
yeah,
you
CNN. Wait for the C. Oh, what the heck was the patch name? It was started with C. I lost it. It's there in the article someplace.
But
I don't see it. But anyway,
you just got to be hopefully that you don't get one downloaded by accident or something.
right. The big thing is being careful where you
Right.
go. If you know you're pretty safe on CNN, CNN's website. Okay, you're probably going to be pretty safe. there.
What gets me is all these websites like right now. I go onto a website and I'm searching for a product or searching a product.
Yep.
And the next thing you know, I get off from there. I'm just looking at them to see, comparing here and there and the other
Yep.
place. And the next thing you know, every one of my internet connections, such as Pogo or whatever else I'm using, over on the side is this advertisement. Are you looking for a Christmas tree? Are you looking for binoculars? Are you looking for this or that and the other? You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of
What is that? Is that
that's advertisement, but what that is
is that a malware, spyware, or
no,
something?
not necessarily. It could be, but most likely if you've been to a couple of different sites that offer search optimization, ad placement optimization, like saying if we did an SEO for Tech Talk, if anybody put in the word tech, okay, it might pop our ad up as placement because they were like, oh, well, you might be looking for Tech Talk Live, you know. Sometimes those are add-in programs like toolbars. Sometimes that's just the way the ad program that the website's using is working. Because it can search. Right. Most of the time, if you allow a toolbar, they have complete access to your computer, so they could tell what you've searched for in the past.
But did you get the name of that?
Did I get the name?
No, you started in with what I was talking about.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm sorry. But it doesn't matter. I mean, basically, we're waiting for a complete fix. You know, Java basically says it's a massive exploit in the world, but, you know, in the wild. But the big thing is hopefully they will have a fix fairly quickly. The sad part is, you know what the sad part is about this, and I can't get over this, and it's this last statement that always bugs me. This exploit has been around since August of last year. First off, the news media is just starting to see it, okay? Second off,
there's other things that they have to report on besides that, so that's...
Well, I'm just saying,
put way back to the bottom. Now they haven't got anything to report on, so it comes up front.
Right.
Or either that, or they just announced it. Are they just announcing it, or?
Well, they're just announcing it because it's become
publicly
known. Yes.
Right. It took them from August.
Yeah.
Oracle representatives didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. This post will be updated if a reply comes later. So nobody's responded officially yet that they're working on a patch or not. The big thing is if you can get away with unplugging Java, you know, that's about the biggest thing. If you can get away with unplugging Java and not using Java in your browser,
what would you replace it with?
You wouldn't. But, you know, that's the sad part. Java is very unique. Very
well. Every time I'm down on Java and I ain't got the updates or something, it brings up a screen that says, "Oh, your Java is out of date and it's not up to date," and and you got to update it. And
time to update.
Next thing you know, you're updating it, and now everything works again. You know.
Right. So I mean, you know, I guess it's just going to be. You know, I hate to say it this way, but I mean, it's going to be one of those things. Hopefully, they come up with something, or just be careful where you go. I mean, you know darn well CNET's probably doing some good virus scanning. CNN's doing some good virus scanning. Smaller sites, you know, maybe not so much. You know, I would think that Finger Lakes One, being a web development company, would probably be, you know, scanned pretty well.
Keep your antivirus up to date.
Yeah,
really.
Keep your antivirus up to date. The other thing is try not to click on ads. I hate to say it that way because I mean some people like to shop ads, but you know, try not to. Get
into a site now. Here's an ad. Oh, I like that instead of
right. And then you get everything all locked up.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of emails.
But this exploit's been. I mean, the same exploit's been out there for Microsoft, for Internet Explorer for years. Same type of exploit, except for they have to get you to click on something to make it yes, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, yeah, this is critical. Java's a big product. Java's touching a lot of different devices. I really would think that they would be like, hey, we're gonna get right on this and kill it. And you know, there's a couple people that say, you know,
seal up the problems or holes.
You know, it might be one of those things that they can't. I mean, I don't know. They're not giving enough detail on. They're not giving enough public detail on what the exploit is.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know what it does. I understand what it's doing. I got a good idea how it's coming through because, I mean, it's basically through ads, you know, and then, you know, how do you get rid of it once it's in there? I mean, I would be prepared. I'd back up your machine. You know, there's the other thing. You know, after the break, we'll take
a break. You know what I mean? You can give us a call if you want to comment on it. It's 315-220-0692. You know, and give us a call if you want to comment on this.
Yep, and we're Tech Talk Live. We're a computer talk show out of upstate New York, broadcast live on FingerLakes1.com, and we'll be right back after these brief messages.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There.
back with Tech Talk Live on FingerLakes1.com.
Give us a call, 315-220-0692.
You gotta say it nice and loud. Let's say it nice and loud. If you want to give us a call, 315-220-0692. Get your question on the air. Talk about what we're talking about or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, or email us with your question.
At techtalkliveny@gmail.com.
Check us out on Facebook at Facebook.
Like us. Ow.
Yeah.
Oh man, my back's still killing me. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it through the show though.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Gotta make it through the show.
Okay,
Yes.
what's on the agenda? JJ, you got something?
Well, we were just going to
about or not?
talk a little bit more about the Java thing real quick because
Well, he was doing research when we
I
were
was-
on break.
No, I was just reading some of the article on it from CNN. Reporting that the Java vulnerability is due to incomplete patch
Right.
from earlier last year.
right. So
Why don't they update the patch if they needed to?
I don't know why they're not.
Right.
If it's incomplete, get it complete.
Well, you got to remember too is with businesses, corporations. I mean, Oracle's a huge corporation. They do have an image to keep up. Now, granted, they didn't do a good job of keeping up that image because back in August when this actually happened, and the advanced security, is that what it's called? Advanced security something?
Yeah, something like that.
Advanced security group there that reports on vulnerabilities, reports to the corporations privately. Then if they don't fix it in a certain amount of time, they go public. So I mean, it's just like,
Okay.
I mean, if I was CEO
Here.
of Oracle, I would be getting that programming team on.
Here, I'll give you a black eye.
Yeah, security
Right. Right.
explorations. Poland-based security explorations.
So if you really want to protect yourself against this threat, you got to uninstall Java and not use Java. But almost everything and anything uses Java. Really, the big thing's going to be safe, get a good antivirus, keep it updated. Because I mean, if it's a known keystroke logger that it tries to install, or if it's a known threat, then at least the antivirus will pick it up. If it's a 0-day threat, not so much.
if you just don't use it, just uninstall it. Really.
Yeah,
Don't use
and
it.
if you don't
use
yeah.
it, don't use it.
Right. But that's half the
And
problem is 90% of the people use
Right,
it and
there's
they
like-
just don't even know that they
And the
use it.
next thing is you uninstall Java, and then you turn around and this program won't operate unless you have Java.
Right? Yeah,
Right.
there's like 1 billion PCs and smartphones and
Don't
other computers out
right.
there.
Well, don't forget
use this program.
Don't forget all the apps, though. Because that's
Oh,
really
right.
what it comes down to is the apps that use
I
Java.
have an app for that. Oh, I ain't got the shirt.
No, but he
I got my new, what do you want to call it?
get right up there, JJ.
My iPhone. That's how I
iPhone
remember.
and YouTube.
and YouTube. That's how I remember.
You're such a dork. I love it.
Well, we're not gonna
For all this
go
technology.
any further than that. I'll say it off the air after the show.
Hey now.
Hey, now you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
Well, now we're in the musical.
Yeah,
now.
karaoke every time. Hey, it's just like the old show. We'd come up with something to sing. I mean,
Right, you could be a fat pig too.
Oi! Anyway,
Next.
Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful
Did you hear the
phrase.
latest now that they're running out of vaccine? So, if you got the
Flu bug?
bird flu,
Swine flu?
you get a tweetment,
A tweetment.
and if you got the swine flu, you get the ointment.
Wow.
Okay,
Hurry, turn the channel now. Actually, we're not even on a channel. Hurry, hit the stop button.
Anywho, all these new logo thing or Lego, not logo.
Legos.
Legos.
Lego, little snap together.
Yes, Legos. I love Legos.
We now can communicate with our Apple devices.
Well, yes,
They
actually.
can control them now with the Apple devices.
Have you seen? Well, that was part of the CES thing,
Right, yeah,
that I
the
saw.
new-
That was really, really, really neat, and it's a Adreno base. I think it's Adreno or how do you pronounce it? But if you go look at make.com, they have a lot of really neat robotics things that you
Right.
can do. And one of the new devices that they have is a cube that has the controller card in it, and then these special Legos that go together, and you can make robots out of Legos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Recent related new Legos robotic kits talk to the iPhones and iPads.
Yep.
Ooh, JJ, right up your
Right.
line. Next thing you know, we're going to have a Lego driving in here in the driveway.
We're
Right.
gonna have MJ put it together, and then
Yeah.
I'll operate.
Wait a minute, hang on a second. If MJ puts it together, you're gonna have a massive robot that carries a gun and shoots those little suction cup things.
Yeah, they'll pew pew.
Yeah.
pew pew. Right.
Pew,
Yeah.
pew, So, no, I just thought I'd bring that up because I thought that kind of caught my eye when I was going through the CES.
I keep trying to line Snide
Right.
up.
Keep trying to line Snide up.
Yeah, I know.
Am I moving?
No, don't move. I just had it.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm trying to be across from where
Right.
where we were.
I think
Yeah,
think
me
that's
too.
the only.
I'm across from. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You know, I really got to take, and I think what we need to do with those cameras is get them on poles that are individual, so you can turn them and get them where you want them.
Well, I don't know how you're going to do polls unless you
Mount them.
mount them in the
Yep, I think that's
Table.
what it's going to be.
and then take a little piece of plexiglass and mount them there like that.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
All right.
Anyway,
CES is one of the best things for get on that site and just like I say, type in Consumer Electronics Show or CES in Las Vegas.
Right.
And boy, there's all sorts of stuff. Home, national, world, sports, politics, businesses, people, all this stuff.
yeah.
And
Well, the CES has always been a big thing anyway, because I mean, you always got to see some of the new things coming out. Like, what was it last year that was really phenomenal? It was the smart car, wasn't it? Where you can almost drive. It almost drives yourself.
that was the other thing I was going to bring up because I just remember seeing it this morning. The smart car will be out eventually of operating itself, but they still don't feel that it's safe enough yet.
Well, no, because you still have the human error on there that
and
it
that's
just can't.
that's almost like that camera on top of the
Yep.
the one for Google.
For the Google. Yep.
Yeah, and it's doing the 360 picture and all
Yep.
that stuff.
It takes 4 different pictures and then it stitches them together, gives you a 360 degree picture of every point that it takes. So that's really neat.
and
That's how they get the street view. So
Right.
But anyway, there was an article on the news this morning about it, and they're just quite not comfortable with it yet.
well, the
But
test
it's coming.
Yeah, the testing out in California, because they're expecting that it'll be in California first because that's where they're out of. And the other problem here is that the first
gonna be
first
the
smart
carpool
car,
lane, right?
yeah, right. That's the only area you can go, right?
Right.
Well, the point of it is they got these backup cams now that if you've got something that senses across the back of the car,
here-
it stops it.
You know, you got. I'm going to get on politics for a second, just because he brought something up
brought
the
it
other
up.
day. He brought something up the other day that really
Not about politics.
No, it was about
No,
politics,
never.
but you know.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me. Well,
He's bringing it up.
I bring
I
it up
know,
because
it's
I
like-
really think we need to have this discussion. Okay. You just mentioned about the smart car, and what you brought up the other day was about how everybody was
Smart
talking.
politician finally. Oh.
Well, no,
can
about
control
how all the governments are trying to find revenue sources and streams because they don't have enough for
Oh,
whatever. B had brought up about the federal government trying, or maybe let me rephrase that: the state governments are trying to figure out, because of all these electric cars, some way to get them to pay a fair share road tax, so they're talking like $100 a year.
Because they're not getting their tax off their fuel now, right?
Right,
Right.
$100 a year.
It's their only problem. It's their problem because you keep taxing and taxing and taxing, and people are going to do something.
Different.
Different.
Right. So they got to learn to compete. They got to be more businesslike.
They're
We all got
going to
that.
end up putting a tax on
But-
if you own this type of car.
Right.
You
Well,
pay a yearly tax.
What do you
or
think they're
whatever.
going to do with the smart car?
The price of gasoline drops down to where people can afford to buy it. We haven't got a lot of money, but you say we do. People can't afford the gas and drive like they used to. Now all of a sudden they're not making the gasoline tax. They cried that blues when the gasoline dropped down to $1.62 a gallon.
Yep.
And New York State lost, millions of dollars, you know what I mean? We're not getting the revenue off of it. Well, people were able to afford it. And then all of a sudden the gas started creeping up and up and up and up and up, and then people cut back on their driving.
Right. Well, and again, it's one of those things. What happens?
Catch-22.
It's a catch-22. Now, what happens when we get the smart car who is going to drive us from point A to point B? No, there's going to be no accidents anymore, right? If everybody has, well, I mean, in the ideal situation with these smart cars, there will not be accidents because the car will drive the speed limit. The car will do what it's supposed to do. It will have emergency brakes if it has to have emergency brakes. It'll understand road conditions. Accidents will be a thing of the past. Insurance companies, poof, gone.
Gone.
Right?
Right.
Police officers, road patrol, poof.
Gone.
Gone.
Look at the jobs
911
it's going to take
dispatchers,
out.
poof, gone.
Well, maybe not quite that far because
But
you're
look
still
at
going
the
to have
jobs that
other
they're going
issues.
to take out.
Right? Go ahead.
Oh, great. We're not broadcasting?
Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird.
We're not broadcasting.
Evidently, we're not, so we'll finish the show.
All right.
You know, we got 15 minutes.
But anyway, getting back to the smart car and the jobs that it's going to eliminate, and it's the same way with the petroleum industry, the coal industry, and all this other stuff that the government is shutting these things down. And EPA now was the other day was wood burning stoves.
Yep.
Now you 15 parts per million. Oh, we can't have that. We got to go 12 parts per million. Now that takes in all sorts of heating devices that these people for years have cut wood and heated their house with wood stoves and everything.
Now
they can't
all of a
use them
sudden they're not
anymore.
going to be able to do it. Yep.
Right.
And it started there in Waterloo with the wood burning stoves, them outside stoves that we can't have them because they stink.
Outside burners.
Now they got the new ones out that are smokeless. You can't see them burn, and that was the biggest thing. Oh, I can see them burn. It's like a cigarette, you know.
Yeah.
Now there's the other thing that we were talking about.
Yeah,
Politics was cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, now that they're not making the money because they got X amount of
e-cigarettes or people are quitting or
and all
whatever,
this other stuff, and now they're gonna
or they're buying illegals. You know, I'll say that one.
contraband cigarettes or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But anyway, now they're turning around and they're going to try to tax the non-smokers more because they're not making the revenue off the cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be realistic, people. Where do we come up with these people in government? You know.
You know,
You got him going.
I wanted him to talk about the smart car piece, but
Anyway, the smart car,
whatever.
I'll get back to that.
Okay, well that's fine.
But like I say, eliminate jobs and all that, and gasoline, and they're going to be electric. They're not going to. How are they going to be?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. They're going to be some form of electric, whether it's solar powered or electric out of your house or something. Fossil fuel burning is going to go to the wayside, or maybe they might
They're
go
trying to go better.
Right, it's gonna eventually happen. It's just a matter of time. I think we might not see it in your lifetime, but we might see it by the time me and JJ are your age.
I mean, the doctor just gave me 20 more years, good years. I mean, oh
good.
my God.
Dear God, really? 20 more years of Tech Talk Live was 9. Did you just hear that?
I did. We're
Oh
good.
my God.
But
We're going to be old and gray, and he's still going to be there.
Hey, you whippersnappers, did you just see what those politicians just did? You know, I don't know what you're talking about.
but
Did you see the news where that local product was featured on ABC's Shark Tank?
No.
Out of Syracuse. Manufacturers of the product called made right here in central New York. It got some national exposure Friday on
called
ABC's
wine.
Shark Tank.
it's called wine.
Yeah, the show featured a product called the Coffee Jewels. It claims to help regulate the temperature of your coffee.
Okay.
After a heated discussion about sales strategy and makers and the millionaires came to an agreement with a few stipulations, the company made the product was awarded $150,000 to help grow its company.
Nice.
Right.
Go Central New York.
Coffee Jewels looks, let's see here, look like stainless steel coffee beans, and they help regulate the temperature of a cup of coffee. The device cools the coffee down when it gets too hot and keeps it warm for hours.
And that's going to be in a
So,
cup, or you got a thing that
probably-
sticks in the cup.
They look
They're
like little coffee
beans.
beans you put inside the coffee cup.
Oh, coffee
No,
beans,
duh.
electronic.
Yeah.
I want to try that for my hot chocolate because I don't do coffee or tea. I do
Right.
tea.
Well, you need cocoa beans.
Cocoa beans?
Not coffee beans.
Yeah, it says they're made by Sherrill Manufacturing, the old Oneida Limited plant. So,
Right. Nice.
yeah.
Oneida
That's
Limited. in
Oneida. That's
Syracuse.
over. No, that would have been over in
Oneida.
Oneida. Oneida's the original plant over there.
Right.
So
down
Local
Oneida.
company does good in Central New York.
about time.
I drove in there
National
probably three times a week to pick up loads
Yeah.
of silverware going to Fun Lot.
Yep.
Making national news.
Well, let's talk about something else. National news. Everybody's on the gun laws and stuff, and I'm not going to talk about the actual gun law piece. I want to talk about what Joe Biden's doing right now with video games. Okay,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
because
yeah.
that's part of Tech Talk
Right.
Live. Okay, video games.
I'll go that route.
Yeah, okay. So Joe Biden has gone and met with video game creators and stuff like that, and to look at their role. And this is what the article said: to look at their role and how video games are the cause of the Sandy Hook shooting situation.
I'm not trying to bring up just Sandy Hook. There's been 13 across this country last year.
Right.
But they're dramatizing this because they think it's children. But anyway,
Well, I think that's probably what it is. It's knee jerking. It's
Yeah.
heart jerking. Knee jerking.
Heart
Heart jerking. What did I say? Knee jerking? Yeah, heart jerking.
but they're trying to blame video games. They're trying to blame this and that and the other.
They're trying to blame the NRA. They're trying to blame
everything
parents.
but what the problem really is.
right.
And they're not getting to that. But there was a thing on the news this morning for a senator of New York, and she hit the nail right on the head. And I can't remember the article now, and I wish I kept it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or got it. But it was about the mental disturbances
Yep.
and the people on these drugs. How did these people get on the drugs in the first place? And then when they come off the drugs, they have, well,
Relapses.
schizo or whatever.
Relapses. Yeah.
And, you know,
Well, again, it's one of those things where I can't really label it to one thing.
I'm not
per
blaming.
se.
I'm not
Yeah,
just blaming drugs.
right.
I'm blaming,
I can't really blame just one thing because but I can definitely say from a critical thinking standpoint, guns were designed to kill. We know that. That's just they're meant to shoot the bullet out, hit something, and destroy it. Right. That's the whole purpose of it.
Target practice.
We've interjected. We've interjected.
no, I
sport-
was just thinking what I was saying the other day too about it.
Right. Okay. So we've interjected sporting and all that stuff, and we have a tendency to lean towards people will be good people and not shoot each other. Okay. And really, that's true. That's fairly true. It's the criminal mind that shoots people. That
And the criminal mind is not going to
Okay.
get an illegal gun
and
somewhere.
then the deranged mind. I hate to say it that way, but it's really the deranged mind.
The ones that are registered and honest
Those are your two problems. It's not the fact that Phil Snyder or John Doe or Mike Lambert or whoever.
Joe Q. Public.
I'm trying to think of names and I'm pulling real names
Yeah,
out of
you're
my.
pulling
I'm
names
so
out.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm having one of those days.
Why don't you say Obama's protected by guns too?
Well,
you know?
yeah, well, he is, but but the whole thing is that it comes down to is okay. Video games. How many video games were sold? How many Call of Duties were sold last year? 4.6 million copies were sold of Call of Duty.
I don't have
Out of that, well, I'm just saying, 4.6 out of 367 million people in the United States alone. Okay, so 4.6 people like the Call of Duty franchise. Okay, now all of a sudden we're talking about, well, you don't have the right as a game developer to build that game because out of that 4.6 million people, less than 0.009%,
Yeah, well, I remember seeing that.
less than 1/100%.
It's almost like saying we're going to stop building cars because drunk drivers are killing people.
That is
driving cars.
that's exactly
Okay, so-
what we're talking about.
Well,
You know?
our point yesterday that I tried to bring up, like I said, remember, it's in the courts right now. Mm-hmm. This young lady stabbed her boyfriend 27 times.
Oh, the repeater.
The knife is a repeater, stabbing him. How come the knife didn't break after 10 shots or 10 stabs? You know what I'm saying? And they're talking about, magazines and all this stuff.
Right.
Now, that's how stupid it is. And then turn around, and now she stabbed him to death, and turned around and didn't think he was dead and put a bullet right between his eyes. Now, to me, you know what I'm saying? But the FBI
That's DRT now. Dead right there.
Yeah, right, dead right there. DRT.
But what I'm trying to make my point is not only all this exploiting of guns and all that stuff. They don't even exploit blunt force objects, such as a
Right,
hammer,
so now we gotta take away
a hammer,
hammers,
a ball
yep.
bat, and all this golf club, any of the stuff that's killed people more
Right.
than guns.
Well, I guess
Homicide.
that's kind of my point, is that since this is such a
Big issue.
heart jerker, because I mean
Yeah.
it is. It's a horrible tragedy that kids get shot up. You'd think that sending your kids to school would be safe and so on and so forth. But I'm still at that point. What's acceptable risk by the end of the day? Okay, you go out and you have a 8 or 9% chance that you're going to have a fatal crash today on the roads. Okay, versus going anywhere and getting shot is like 0.001%.
But what you fail to continue on with what Biden.
It's the whole group. It's Biden.
But anyway,
And if Biden sees this, if Biden sees this
But
show
he
and he
was-
wants to call in, I would gladly have him on here.
But anyway, about the violence on video games.
Yes.
Now, what he is trying to get through the legislature or through the government is a gun that can only be fired by the owner.
Okay.
So I mean, here's a little almost jerked your head off.
Almost took everything right off.
But anyway,
Which is smart use of technology, really. If
you know,
It
you're
is.
going into technology.
fingerprint.
Or even smart
Trigger.
chip
chip.
trigger. That would be easy.
But you
Smart chip. I think smart chip trigger would be neat, but it's still it's not that big of a deal either way.
Here again, back when the government come out with all these free trigger locks.
Yeah.
What was that? Nothing more than the government
But-
knowing who has.
Okay,
the
so
gun
that's the
now.
gun piece, but I want to get back to the game piece.
Yeah.
What is the game doing? Now, okay, if we teach our kids the difference
Right.
between reality and fantasy, and we teach them video games is fantasy, plain and simple, and we continue on. If I have a kid that
And
is
there's a rating on the package.
right,
when
no
you're buying
duh,
it.
yeah, it's already
Yeah,
rated.
right, 17
How much
years
more are
and
you going to
older.
get?
Remember
Right.
back when they come out with this rating, we talked on a regular show,
Yeah.
a regular radio show about it. The rating in I can't remember all of it. It started out with 3, and
Right.
it ended up with 7.
Yeah.
7
And then they
different
came
ratings.
out. Yeah, now they came
Right.
up with 5 different ratings. Now
They narrowed it back to 5 now.
I think so.
But anyway, we were talking about that on a radio show, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but about how extreme all this stuff is for ages 13 and below or ages 13 and above or
Well,
whatever.
that piece, and then also putting on the package. I mean, I don't mind video games. I do not think that we should be cutting the creative process or cutting these companies down that develop these games just because they're a military game, okay, or just because they're a game that shoots guns, okay. But
right.
it should still, and here again, it's one of those things where you sit back and you go, okay, fine. You just gave a mentally disturbed or deranged, however you want to, child of 12 years old, a very violent and bad video game.
Right.
Bad to you, parent. That's
Okay.
really what it comes
If
down
that's
to.
the problem, then go after Hollywood for making all these violent.
Horror movies. Oh my God, I have nightmares every time I look at a horror movie.
I'm not saying horror movies. I'm talking about shoot 'em up, blowing up cars and
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Whoa.
And then
Do it again.
boom, blowing up cars.
No,
Well, I didn't go to pew, 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 But anyway, that's a repeater.
Oh, that hurts my back. Oh my God.
But
Laughing
anyway,
too hard.
Sorry, was there.
you're doing all these things, and Hollywood is condemning this.
Yeah.
But they have their armed guards.
Yeah.
I can't believe the two-faced or
The talking out of two sides of your mouth.
Do as
Yeah.
I say, not as I do.
and
Yes.
you know,
Yeah,
they're making
really,
all,
that's what it is.
They're making all this stuff, and they go and then after the movie is over, it's a reset button. Push the reset button. Now all of a sudden, this happens in a crime in a school or wherever, movie theater or wherever.
Something in reality. It happens in reality.
Now all of a sudden they think they got that reset button. It doesn't have that reset button.
But there again, that's a very small percentage of the population that has that miswired misconception.
So
You know, it's just like the kids that go out and play with guns, end up shooting one another or shoot one or the other and kill them. And I didn't know. I thought he'd come back to life. Well, whose fault is that?
we played with
parents were not
guns.
educating their
We
kids.
played with guns for years, you know, growing
Little
up.
cap guns.
But we
Remember little
didn't-
cap guns?
Yeah.
Little piece of
Oh
paper
my
in there?
God! Yeah, I
But we
remember that.
did.
Yep.
But we didn't have the video games and all this reality stuff today,
Right.
you know.
Right. Poor Oscar. I keep kicking him down. I think our show's over.
Oh yeah, no more discussion on this. If you have something on this, call us next week
Or email us.
315-220-0692 and comment on this.
Yes,
we'd be
please.
glad to accept this next week.
Right.
Or you can email us at
techtalkliveny@gmail.com
Or
or
leave comment on Facebook.
they can comment on Facebook
Exactly.
too.
okay, but make sure you like us.
Like us.
Oh, my back. Oh,
Anyway.
Hey, I'm gonna injure him. I don't know if he'll be here next week.
I hurt my back.
All right, we gotta sign off or not?
We're going to sign off as soon as I get over to the mouse again. All right. We're out of here.
See ya.
See ya.
You've been listening to your technology talk show. Tune in next time to Tech Talk Live.